You wanna do it?
No.
Okay, we'll do it at the same time. Uh, okay, so we'll do. Hey everybody, welcome back to Crazy Cat Podcast.
This is gonna go so bad.
Welcome back to the Crazy Cat Podcast. Today we are doing the 2025 predictions. Okay. Hey everybody.
We're gonna be doing this all night.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody.
Hi, y'all.
Okay. That's an intro for you. Welcome back to the Crazy Cat Podcast. This is, I think, going to be episode 56. And I am joined by Hylian Hero.
Hello.
We're doing our traditional thing of predicting the next year of Nintendo. I have our icons backwards. I guess I'm Hylian today.
It's okay. Everyone, you can be me once in a while.
And yeah, so if you don't know us, we do it by year. But before we begin, don't forget to smash subscribe, like, comment down below, hit that notification, and comment, like, if you agree, disagree with us. I think this year our lists are going to be a little bit out there, so bear with us today. And what else? Oh, code CrazyCat for 10% off Dubby, because y'all, we're going to be tired next year. There's going to be so much to play. There's going to be a whole new console. So get some W, have some late nights, That's how I'm going to sell it here today. Okay.
Love that.
So as you guys know, we're going to go month by month. So would you like to start with January?
Sure, give me one of the most boring months of the year, why don't you? I mean, we already know what's coming out this month. It's Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. He likes to return. This is the third time he's returned. But
I
this comes out on the
honestly,
16th.
I really don't like how they named Tropical Freeze. It should have been Donkey Kong Country Returns to Tropical Freeze. Or like some
Nah,
sort of alliteration.
I like it because they're technically separate. Like there was no commitment to a series at that point. Like I know they could
I
have,
I
but
was still waiting for the third game. I thought it was going to be a trilogy,
I think
personally.
it honestly. Like don't get me wrong, I'm happy Retro's making Metroid again, but I
Yeah.
I would have loved a third one
I think we will. I think this game is just something to put out there because of Donkey Kong Land. There'll be a new game.
someday.
I mean, there's been rumors
Not
for
this year.
years, a new
Yeah,
3D game, 2D game, something. So it's
yeah,
gonna happen.
exactly. Oh, 100% at some point.
Yeah,
Do we think anything else is happening this month?
we're getting we're getting a teaser for the Switch 2 this month.
Do you
This
have
this
like a
is our
time frame in
October,
mind?
late January. It's
Okay.
just gonna be a random Twitter drop, just like the Switch was. It'll be just, here's the new console. What Show off what is new. They can't really do that without having a full presentation. So it's gonna be more like, okay, the Joy Cons are magnetic. I don't know if they can really show off that it's 4K. They're gonna show the new system, the new dock, the magnetic Joy-Con, that other Switches are compatible with it. So we'll be seeing Switch games and Switch 2 games, and we'll be seeing like Joy-Con, regular Joy-Con being used too.
I think
Um,
we should address the elephant in the room just before, like right off the bat.
yeah,
Like this system's design is basically leaked out fully. We have like a rough
everyone
like
but
design
Nintendo has
estimate.
announced it
We have like
basically,
a rough design estimate of like what the dock could look like. Apparently it's going to be like this more lowered down curve kind of thing where you see more of the screen.
which unfortunately
Yeah.
means my prediction is way wrong. But
What was your prediction?
that the dock would have some more features baked into it,
Yeah.
because
Well,
they
I mean,
hinted at that with the OLED dock. But
it does look like it's confirmed that there's two like USB-C ports or
top
whatever
and
the
the bottom,
charging
yeah.
port is. That they might do like accessories where you can put stuff on top of the Switch while it's docked.
There's
But
also
yeah,
theories that there is a little more going on with the dock, and that it the C button, which I still don't. I thought it was another capture button, but it's a C
mm,
button, and I think it might be a Wii U situation, but that was just a theory, a game theory, if you will. So I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know what that C button is. That's the only thing that intrigues me. Maybe that's one of the things they highlight. Is what that C button does.
I
If
think
it's
they will.
something that they can show practically without going in depth, um, maybe it's like a you play your Switch game and you push the button and it magically turns 4K.
No, they wouldn't put that on the controller, but that's a fun idea. But no,
I don't know what the fuck C means.
my guess is capture, but we already have a capture button,
Yeah,
so
and it's on the
is
it's still there. It's on the other one.
maybe it stands for crazy cap, and you just can't reveal we're having a partnership.
Oh, Shay. I don't know.
But no, I do think that you're pretty much right on the money. I think later in the month, probably like a week probably the week after DK comes out, I think we'll get that trailer. It'll show what the system looks like. It'll show some whatever new features it has. Probably just the new dock and magnetic Joy-Con. They'll probably hype up the graphics by showing like a new look at Metroid Prime 4 like they did back with
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild. And
Yeah, they'll
I
show
do think
Breath of the
I think
Wild
we
and
see
Metroid are like the Tim poles a bit like this is what the console can do, but they can't really show that in like a non-talking video. So they'll be there, but it'll just be like, oh, okay, you can play
but
Switch
I
One games.
I think instead of 3D Mario being our tease for this trailer, I think we're going to see the new Mario Kart looking
I
gorgeous.
think it's gonna be
I
both. I think it's gonna be the same as the Switch One, personally. But
I don't think we'll see 3D Mario. I do think we see it next year. Absolutely, I think we'll see it in the next presentation we have for the Switch 2. But I think they're going to want to keep that a little bit closer to their chest because I mean, when we saw Mario Kart with the Switch trailer, it was still Mario Kart 8.
mhm.
So I think if you show like the two big games of the year, theoretically they could, but I do think maybe hold that secrecy a little bit more. Like
Yeah.
maybe somehow like show a new Mario design, like not in like actual gameplay. I have no
Well,
idea.
I mean,
That would
I don't
hurt.
think it was. It was like beta footage. Like it was. Toast
I
Arena
mean,
looked rough.
oh
It
yeah,
looked rough.
but I think they,
Like
I think they
Mario will be in a
prioritize,
3D space, and that's all we're gonna get.
but I think they prioritize Mario Kart and Metroid. Like we
Why?
may, we'll.
Do you
What's
guys?
that?
Do you think it's a little strange that a lot of the promotional material or the promotional material has Mario Galaxy as the
That
screenshot that they use?
that's just
That
all
is not.
random.
But why
That's China.
every single one? Every
That's
single
what they
one.
But that's what they do with random Nintendo
Yeah,
accessories. Like
but
you'll see a random old game. Just
I
it's just
mean,
China.
any of the Tim Pole Switch games,
I
Breath of the
promise you
Wild,
these.
Mario
I
Kart.
promise you they do not. They see a Mario render. They see one that looks really cool. They go with it. I promise you that's not a tease in
I
anything.
don't know. I just feel like they would do something more relevant, but eh.
They don't know what's relevant. They don't play the games.
Well,
They
to
just
be
try to make
fair,
money.
the Switch One isn't gonna be like they can't download games anymore in China, so
Exactly. But no,
which is weird because it's gonna be the same eShop. So
it turns out that eShop only had like 100 games on it anyway. So it
oh, so
seems
they
like
had a separate server anyway.
the
So
the popular
okay,
thing was people were importing like not bootleg systems but like
the
systems from
Mig
other countries and kind of like buying them on the black market.
is it like the Mig Switch?
No, just it's normal Switches. Just
No,
they come from like Japan and they can play whatever we can play. But
they probably go to jail for that, but you know,
and who knows? I don't care.
I don't live in
I hate to
China.
say
This
exactly.
is politics.
But I
We're
think
gonna get in trouble for talking about Chinese politics.
alongside that, I do think we'll see a release month for the system. And I think that month is going to be June. And then I think we'll
Mm.
also get confirmation that we'll see either a game showcase or a dedicated direct in March specifically for the Switch 2.
I agree on everything except for I think it's gonna release in July. I think June is gonna be too busy, so I think it's just gonna be July because I have empty
The,
months
the
basically.
problem with the problem with July is it's midsummer season. Advertising is really difficult because people are out enjoying the weather. I think they want it. I think they want it in May, but I'm being pessimistic and pushing it out to June.
Yeah, I'm
So
just looking at. I'm like, okay, how many more games do I want released specifically for Switch One? And so I fill out those months, and then June is going to be literally the big blowout. It's going to be E3 basically.
But I've
And
still got Switch 1 games post Switch 2 launch. That's the thing.
I don't think Nintendo does that. I don't think so.
I think they can. The thing is, they can easily market them for the Switch 2. It's
I think
honestly very simple.
nothing that's first party at the very least. Like nothing major first party.
Yeah,
I don't
I
agree.
see. We have some disagreements, which that's
Right.
fun.
Which okay, yeah, we should probably get into February because I think we both agree that there will be a Nintendo Direct for Switch
Of
1.
some sort, I think it could be a mini. I think it could be a
Yeah.
general. I don't know the form, but yeah, I
Um
do think there's
I
a
don't
Switch only direct.
there's part of me that's like I don't think it should be a regular direct, but I have enough games on here that would dictate a regular direct. So I think I'm just gonna name them because we might have some similarities, we might have some differences. Uh,
Go for
oh,
it.
oh yeah, I do have a game releasing. Okay, uh, Kirby Planet Robobot. I believe that's true. I believe that rumor's
I agree.
true.
I agree.
Um, Metroid Prime 2 and 3. This will be a similar situation to Pikmin 1 and 2. It won't be a remaster like or sorry, it won't be a remake like Metroid Prime 1. It'll be just HD res up like Pikmin 1 and 2 and potentially get bundled as well. Maybe they could even be like, "Hey, there's a with all three games basically remaking the trilogy
That'd
with
be so good.
the remake of 1
That'd
in
be
there
so
too."
good.
Like maybe that's the physical release that they actually come out with instead. So I believe that it'll shadow drop. Um, and
I'm gonna
the
go
phys
against the Grail just briefly. I think one shadow drops. I think three comes
one,
out a couple months later. Two. I mean
two,
two.
oh,
So Metroid Prime
that's
2
fair.
will come out same day, and then I think Prime 3 is gonna come out in April.
I'm still on the same side of this is Pikmin 1 and 2 situation,
Oh,
where
by the format, yes.
they release together and then the whatever comes out later is the physical, which includes the one remake, which I don't have a date for, so you could put that
Yeah,
anywhere.
I think they'll be like $30 a piece, maybe. I don't want
Yeah,
to say 40, but maybe 40.
yeah,
And the physical comes out when 3 does, and it's a double pack for
yeah.
60.
And if they want to do all three games too, that's probably just an easy 70, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, Even though that doesn't equate, you save some money.
Yeah.
And that's a way that it can be like, oh yeah, Switch 2 games are gonna be $70 whether you like it or
But
not.
I think
Uh,
we both agree that regardless, both off the entire trilogy is going to be out before 4 comes out.
we can only
Like,
hope.
ain't that the truth?
I I I mean, we've been hearing talks about Metroid Prime for
For
ever.
literally like 6, 7 years.
I'm not even talking about 4. I'm just talking about remasters. I'm like
No, literally.
like
2018, the Metroid Prime trilogy is going to show up at the
it was
Game
like this is the
Awards.
GameCube era and then we didn't get anything.
I mean, to be fair, we did get a lot of
We got
GameCube
Paper
ones.
Mario, which is not something that anybody talked about, I don't think. I mean, there was
Literally.
a rumor like during the 3DS era, I think.
Yeah, I remember that. I believed it, and it was so fake in hindsight.
Maybe they were thinking about it. Nintendo said no later. Well, let's see what happens with Color Splash, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. All right, what else do you think is coming to this direct?
Your favorite?
Do you think both?
Both. No, just announced.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
I know. I'm not thinking of Shadow dropped.
the Zelda remasters. We can
So
predict it till the end of time.
again, I'm gonna go against the Grail. I do. I think one. I think Wind Waker gets announced just to piss me off,
I'm
and
just
I
gonna
think
say
that's.
both to cover my bases because I'll be right either way.
I think I. So to spoil one of my later predictions, I do think we see both this year.
Mhm.
I just think one is gonna have more marketability for the Switch 2 than the other, and it's not Wind Waker. So I think Wind Waker will be coming out before the Switch 2 comes out,
I
and then
disagree because I think Twilight still. I mean, it looks way better than the original, but it still looks so
but
like.
I mean, if the system is quote unquote
But it's
4K
they're
compatible,
not gonna be
I
like, oh, this is actually Zelda 4K. This is gonna be a Switch
no,
One game, and it's gonna be a port of the HD games.
but
Which again, these are a
I
weird
do,
situation because it's not a Wii U exclusive, so it's still a little weird. Um,
but I
so
do personally believe that we are going to get the marketing for Twilight Princess HD, and while it's not going to be called like Twilight Princess 4K or anything like
yeah,
that, I do think like the marketing will be like boost your experience with the like playing this on the Switch 2. It's Switch 2 enhanced. Play it and it'll look marginally better. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to be like a huge thing. Don't get me wrong. It will still very
Again,
much so be playable on the Switch.
I'm personally of the camp of they will run in 4K, but they won't actually be 4K.
Oh,
Like
100%.
resolution, it's like 1080p to 4K, but like
Yeah.
they will just they will just run better. They won't look better. Sorry. They will
I think
run at
that's
like
fair.
60. They'll prioritize 60.
To be fair, I don't believe either Wind Waker or Twilight Princess actually do run at 60. I think they're both
Oh,
at 30, and
yeah.
Skyward Sword was like the first of the Zelda remakes to get to 60. So I
Again,
think that'd be good.
in my personal opinion, I think that again, this again leads into the Switch One topic. I don't think any Switch One games release after day one because there will be a day one, day and date Switch release, and unless we live in alternate reality where we actually get a Breath of the Wild remaster, it'll be
Please
the
don't do
only
this.
game that is enhanced on Switch Two, graphically speaking. Uh,
Mhm.
Otherwise, if it doesn't happen, which it won't, it'll be just like higher frame rate, runs better, looks
See, I
better,
think
quote unquote, but it's
I
not
think
actually
Nintendo.
like it's not a like they didn't go back and re up assets or anything.
I think they're gonna go back and do a few games. I think Splatoon 3 will be one of them. I think maybe Smash Bros. Ultimate depends on their plans with Smash. But I think there's going to be a few games where they go back and enhance it. I think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom will be two of them.
I
But
don't think so, personally,
I
but
think they're gonna. It's just gonna be basic. I don't think it's gonna be like super like oh it's gonna play at 60 frames per second now. No, it's gonna be oh the Korok Forest doesn't lag as much now. You
yeah.
know, I don't think it's gonna be anything major.
Yeah, I don't think they're
But
gonna like actually do any effort. It's gonna be like it's on a better console, so it runs better because like you can literally pop it on a PC and it doesn't have the issues at all.
but I mean it's
Um,
very clear that Nintendo does not want to let go of the Switch. I really think they do want to see it past that PS2 number.
but that
And I
depends on
think
how they feel about what the Switch 2 is, because it might just be a different SKU. Because they can say in the marketing all they want, it's a different generation, but technically
yeah,
they can be like, we're gonna include this in the sales of the Switch 1.
no, they won't do that. That's
Because as far as
I
we know, it's called the Switch 2 right now
no.
internally. So
I don't believe they're gonna do that. I think it's gonna be starting scratch. Nintendo's old fashioned in that sense. They're not gonna
yeah.
try to count it in that way.
Which
And
is
I don't
again the
think
reason why I don't think they're gonna do any work on older games. They're gonna be like, it runs better because it's on a better console, and that's it.
but
So
I mean that's honestly simple though. That can they can still have marketing where ooh, it's the best of both worlds. Switch 2 users have all these games to play that run like marginally better. But we're not leaving the Switch 1 cred out. Keep buying our games if you can't afford a new system yet. It's not gatekeeping. And I mean, I hate saying it.
I don't think so.
It worked very well for Sony for the PlayStation 5. We're still getting PS4 games to this day.
But that's the problem. They don't want to fall
And,
into that same problem.
but they're probably it's not going to be as major. Like they're going to have their big first party games. Like they're not going to have the next 3D Mario or Mario Kart 9 or whatever it's called. Those are obviously not going to be on the Switch 1.
Like it makes
But like
more
this
sense during the 3DS Switch era because 3DS was an entirely different thing. Switch 1 is just an inferior Switch 2.
they're in it for the money though. That's all that matters is the money.
Yeah, but they've
Like
always cared about money and they didn't do that before.
it's not as easy when like the Wii U, I think they were
No,
just
they
trying to
had
figure out
to.
how to
They literally had to.
yeah,
Like,
but
to be fair.
I mean, they weren't going to support the Wii U after the Switch came out. They weren't supporting the Wii the last year before the Wii U came out, and that's just because the system stopped
I would
selling.
say
The
the last time that they
Switch is
did
still
that
selling.
was actually the Wii because everyone's like, "Oh, it's just Twilight Princess." It was more than Twilight Princess, but it was like years later. We got Pikmin
Hmm.
1, 2, Mario Power Tennis, and like one other game, I think.
But you're thinking of different SKUs. These are different. Those are different versions of the game that you have to buy for the Wii. Like I know I'm not talking about like certain remasters and stuff like that being ported forward. Like I really hope they're smart enough to not let that happen. I really don't want to see Breath of the Wild remaster. I really don't want to see Super Mario Odyssey remastered. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
But I do think they're gonna support the Switch maybe longer than people want to see it. I don't think it's gonna be the major tentpole titles. It's gonna be these remasters and ports that they know they can get away with and they know that can run on both systems. It's just, hey, while you're waiting for these bigger games to come out, here's some smaller ones that everyone can enjoy.
Okay. Well, I also have an the FE remaster here.
I
Um,
forgot about that.
yeah.
No,
I just have that to fill in the rest of my months. Because I only have one game releasing a month still, up until the Switch 2.
I'm so
Um,
mad at you for that. I forgot all about Fire Emblem.
yeah. And then at the very end, we're gonna get another teaser for Metroid Prime 4.
Yep.
I don't think this is gonna be the primary place because I think that'll be June. So at the very end, we'll get a release date. Pretty simple.
Okay.
Um, and I'm not done for this month because I have a Pokemon Presents,
I
and we
agree.
get a ZA release date, and it's not November.
When do you know like where you're placing this yet, or do you want to like save it for
I'll
when we
tell
get
you
to that
later.
month? Okay, sounds good. I'm pretty similar with you on February. I think we do see Metroid Prime 2 and 3. I think we see only Wind Waker HD. I think we'll see Twilight Princess HD in this theoretical June event we have. I do think we see Planet Robobot, and we see a little bit more on Xenoblade X, but outside of that, we're going to
Oh yeah, I
be
forgot about that.
pretty full steam ahead on
We're actually
that
getting
March.
Mario Wonder DLC. No, I'm just kidding.
Give me some Pikmin 4 deals. Give me that Ochi amiibo finally.
Is wait,
I
did
go
they
for an Ochi.
wait, did it
They never made no, they never made Pikmin 4 amiibo.
I thought Ochi was an amiibo.
I wish.
Oh,
No.
weird.
Tears of the Kingdom was like the last game I think that got amiibo.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, Echoes of Wisdom didn't get one either. I totally thought that was gonna happen too.
I'm in pain every day because of this.
He'll forever be alone by
I
himself.
literally have like a wall, like a shelf full of all my Zelda amiibo, and Chibi Link is just sitting there all alone, has no friend.
He has Wind Waker
Yeah, that's as close as he can get.
or Triforce Heroes. I think that had an amiibo. No,
Nope.
oh, never mind. Anything else that you had different?
Hold on, give me one sec.
Okay. Anything else for February?
Besides Pokemon, no, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, March. So Xenoblade X is releasing. Um,
Hmm.
and then we aren't getting a Switch 2 Direct per se. We're getting a Switch 2 presentation. I don't know if they're gonna want to like publicize a little bit more than they did with the Switch 1. I still don't know about that. But what I do know is what they're gonna show. We're gonna get what is the 3D Mario title, the name of it, maybe a release month.
Yep.
Um, Mario Kart releasing sooner than you think. Sometime
Hmm.
this year. Mario Kart 10. Um, I would hope it has a subtitle. Um, Showing Breath of the Wild, it will be their main focus, describing what the new capabilities of the Switch 2 are. It'll be their primary focus. I think the rumor behind closed doors is probably true, because they're going to want to show pretty much their best selling Zelda game here. And then Prime 4 will also be shown as another example of games running better on Switch 2. And that
Yep.
will be it, I think. Because we'll get more.
I
It'll be primarily focused on the console itself, but these are the games that will be shown off here.
so I think just like the Switch presentation back in 2017, we are going to see every exclusive Switch 2 game in this show. So I do think
I
we
don't. Oh,
see.
wow. That's
I
crazy.
think we see Mario. I don't think we're getting much. I think I'm 100% in agreement with you. I just want to add one more. I do think this isn't it, but I think it's possible we do get another Nintendo Warriors title. I didn't put it on my
Oh,
list,
wow.
although I wish I did because I would have been thinking a little bit more. I do think Xenoblade Warriors or something along those lines is possible, but that's not what I'm
Wow.
thinking. I think we see Mario Kart. I think we see 3D Mario. Obviously, I think we see Metroid Prime 4 and Breath of the Wild. There's one of the Wild era Zelda games being really shown off. I think we see Animal Crossing this year.
I
I think
agree,
that
but not now.
I mean, I think it comes out relatively not super soon, but within like the next 6 months that they really want to start going on that marketing cycle with it.
Fair.
But yeah, I think outside of that, I think it's pretty cut and dry. Like we see the system. Maybe they announce like a new system for NSO. I don't think
Not
so because
here.
I think
Not here.
people want to see GameCube. They're still milking the GameCube. I don't think they're
Yeah.
ready for the GameCube.
I think the focus will be just the console and how it connects to Switch One. I don't
Mm,
think we'll see like anything outwardly new. Like we won't even see like a lot of gameplay of the new 3D Mario or Mario Kart. We'll see
no,
probably the same sort of. We'll probably see more footage, quote unquote.
I think we get
It's the
trailers
same
for
sort
each.
of asset library that they had for the trailer, but we get to see a little bit more of that. So we won't have anything like particularly new other than a full feature of what the Switch 2 is
I
capable
I
of.
think the only games we get like active gameplay for is Metroid and Breath of the Wild. I think outside of that, we'll just see trailers for everything else with
Yeah,
release dates or like rough release
yeah.
timings
I think we'll get months, and then June Direct will get
later on.
dates. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, April. I have one thing. Zelda, both of
Oh,
them.
I originally put Wind Waker on this, but I went with my gut and just put Prime 3 HD here, just mid-April.
Okay. I mean, just another lull month before we get into the big stuff.
Calm before the
Um,
storm.
May, Kirby. I think there needs to be a few months before Kirby and Robobot's a beefy game. I didn't really talk about what's new here, because we got Magalore's epilogue, so
Yeah,
maybe we get like a Susie epilogue or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
I
I
don't know enough about Kirby to openly speculate.
I do. I have a fair bit of knowledge, but like Robobot is a pretty big gap, and so I'm kind of
Yeah,
excited if it actually is true. But again, it's kind of weird skipping Triple Deluxe because that's actually a good game too. Um, so maybe that's the gimmick is that it's both 3DS games, which I doubt. But
no. I
yeah,
think
I just thought it
Robobot's
was
much more
weird.
cared for.
Period. I thought it was
Yeah.
weird. Period. So,
I
uh,
mean, I right now I'm really seeing that Nintendo is wanting these really beloved games to come over. Like,
where's Willy World then?
well, on my list, we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Ooh. And it's too much Mario this year.
Yeah, that one's when we get to it. I'll explain why it's my like least confident prediction, but I wanted to throw it out there. It's probably out of copium.
Anything else? Oh, wait, you don't. What's your May? I didn't even. It's.
May I actually have two games. I have Wind Waker HD at the very beginning, and then I actually think Pokemon Legends ZA comes out towards the end of May.
Wow. Pretty close to mine, but not quite. Um, so why don't we think November?
Well, I think
Well, Z actually.
my bad for ZA. I do think it doesn't necessarily have to be a November launch,
Hmm.
just because I think Pokemon's really gonna want to have a good like year and a half gap. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be weird. This is the first time in a long time we haven't had Generation 10, and you may have Generation 10 on your list. I do not, but
Not this year. No.
yeah, I this is going to be their first time in a long time they've broken that 3 year cycle for new generations.
Hmm.
So I honestly think they don't necessarily need it for a holiday. I think they want to have it as close to the new system as possible,
Yeah,
kind of get
but
that
riding that
crosswind and hype.
line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like this is the one that comes out before the new system.
Hmm.
So it's like,
So
yeah, you can play it on this, but if you pick it up, play it, maybe do a little replay on the new system.
I'm of the mind of Pokemon and Prime 4. They said they're coming to Switch. they're coming to Switch. Whether
They
you
are
like,
coming to
there
Switch.
is no delay. There is no. Well,
There's
actually, it's
not going to
coming
be.
to Switch 2. No,
I
it
don't
is
think there's
coming to
going to be a
Switch
different.
1.
There's not going to be a different SKU. I think it'll be very marketed
Yeah,
that, hey, if you buy these games, when you get a Switch 2, there's an update
yeah,
for them. Not for Pokemon, but for Metroid.
yeah. As for Gen 10, if you're curious about that, I think, well, 25th anniversary, 30th anniversary, 20, wait, 25th
Wouldn't that
anniversary.
be?
Wait,
Wouldn't 30th be 90 or 26?
I thought it was. I'm pretty sure it's
I
because
want to say.
it was
I want to say
2020.
Pokemon. Was it?
I swear the
Maybe
20th
maybe
anniversary
you're
was
right. I don't.
2020. I swear to
I don't
God.
remember. I think you might be right. It might have been. I don't know. I always see Pokemon as like a 1996 game. I could be wrong on that though.
Oh, this does not feel like 2021. You're right. But I think they're gonna start hype a little early. Not this
Mhm.
year though. Um, so I think like next year we're gonna get Gen 10. Because that'll
Yep.
be right in that line. I also really hope we get NSO. I want it next year, but I was like, it probably makes more sense in line with the 25th. Um,
Yeah.
so that's what I think. I think we're gonna get that in a normal November release window just next year.
Okay.
And next year as in 2026. I hope that's clear. Or
Got you.
2026. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My brain is working now.
Are you
Okay.
good?
Yeah. So 2026, it will launch in November of 2026, and then the NSO games will
Agreed.
come out over the year. That'll be their celebratory thing.
Okay.
Yeah. That's that.
I
Okay. I was like, wait.
I got you.
I was like, next year. Wait, that's 2025. No, I mean next year. So I was like, okay, my brain wasn't braining. Okay.
Okay.
But no, I think it comes out in June actually.
Okay.
The reason is because, well, might as well get into June. I don't think Switch 2 comes out until July, and the reason is because they will be primarily focused on the Switch 2 Direct, and it could come out like at the very end of June. You know, but I think ZA and the Fire Emblem remake come out first, and the Switch 2 Direct, obviously. So ZA, FE remake, and then what do we get at the Switch 2 Direct? Well, it's going to be primarily focused on Switch 2 things, but there's going to be one more Switch game that has to come out before the Switch 2 comes out, and that's Metroid Prime 4. Well, it's not going to come out before; it's going to come out on the same day, actually. Um,
Okay.
so we're going to see a focus on Metroid Prime 4, Mario 3D, Mario Kart, and here's the wrench, Animal Crossing, and we got to have a few third parties in there. There's been heavy rumors about Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think this is going to be one of the primary third party sort of focuses for the powerful new Switch 2. Um, and as a joke, really, I put The Last of Us.
No, that's not gonna happen.
That was just a joke, but I put it there. It's gonna be some sort of high fidelity game. It can fill out that spot. Um, I don't think it's The Last of Us, but that's the only thing I could think of. Maybe like Metaphor or something, but I think they're saving that for 2026 because they're
I
gonna do a
actually
Persona
so
blowout again.
I
So
didn't do any third party predictions because I'd be here all day. Because I mean,
no, I was just doing that because
no, you're good.
I was saying, okay, we're gonna see some pretty heavy hitters come this year, third party
I
wise. So this was just my
I
stake
think
in
you
that.
missed like the biggest one. I think Persona 3 Reload could be a very beautiful for like
I think
launch
it's
title for the Switch 2.
2025 personally, but or
You mean
2026. Sorry,
2026?
yeah.
I don't know. We'll
Um,
see.
I think seven is pretty viable. Final Fantasy. Um, maybe they use this time to finally show off Dragon Quest
12.
12. This
It's
could be a
very
good
possible.
because we're gonna be getting the 1 and 2 remakes first, obviously, and it probably won't release till 2026. But this would be a good place to show it if Square's really close with Nintendo now. Hopefully. Um, I just watched the video on Kingdom Hearts 4 too. Um, People are like concerned because the hype cycle for this is very different for the hype cycle for Kingdom Hearts 2. Because imagine waiting since what 2006 for Kingdom Hearts 3. Even though this is going to be coming out probably sooner than that, it just
Mhm.
feels different because we don't have any games to fill out the gap in between. We have
Yep.
Melody and we have this weird mobile game that not many people care about. So it's a
Yep.
little strange. I don't think this is the time or the place. I think this is PlayStation's thing. But
Yeah,
I do think
100%.
Kingdom Hearts 4 will come to Switch
Oh yeah, I think
natively. Thank
we'll get
God.
some non-cloud versions of
Yeah,
all the other Kingdom Hearts ones too eventually.
I would hope so. What about Resident Evil? Since we're on the topic,
I think we could see the 4 remake and like
this year,
Village. No, well, maybe either that or like a native port of Village.
do you think that they knew that the Switch 2 was going to get delayed? So they're just like, here, fuck it, take them all, take all the, take all.
I don't know. I think they are definitely in communication with Nintendo, maybe more than we
Oh,
think. And
Monster
they
Hunter for
do.
sure too. That's going to be a
Oh,
focus.
Monster Hunter is absolutely coming to
Wilds
the
isn't
Switch too.
on Switch, or is it?
No, it's not.
So I think
It's only
that
on.
might be a focus too, because there's
Yeah,
still DLC coming out. Anyway, sorry.
you're good.
Anyway, this is like the third party section. We can move on. But I think the main focus here is Animal Crossing. It is coming out next year,
2025 or 26.
2025.
Okay, I wanted to make sure we
Sorry,
said next
this
year.
year. Sorry.
You're all good. So our Junes are very different because I do believe the Switch 2 is coming out in June. I think it'll be June. I'm just gonna throw out June 12th. I'm not confident in that day at all, but I wanted to throw it out there. I do think we see the system. I think Mario Kart X or Mario Kart 10 is the launch title.
Oh,
I think we
interesting.
see either a pack-in title or a like this should be a pack-in title, kind of like what 1-2 Switch was.
Hmm.
I don't think it's going to be very exciting, but I do think they're going to
Oh
have
yeah, I forgot
something that
about
shows
that.
the new features.
I think
I'd
that's.
hope
I was just saying. I
I'd
think
hope
that's inherent.
I'd
I
hope for
didn't put it
something
down,
more
but
Nintendo Land rather than like Wii Sports 1-2 Switch, but we'll see.
Nintendo Land
Um,
HD, Nintendo Land 4K,
Honestly, I think Nintendo Land 2 bring back some of the more
Super
popular ones.
Nintendo World actually.
Yes, get that collab. But anyways, I think that's all well and good. And then either the week before or like late June, as they've been liking to do with their June directs when they have them.
I just had
I
an
think
epiphany. If this is called the
what's your
Super Nintendo Switch, Super Nintendo Land.
yes, stop. I love this. Um,
Sorry.
you're good for the June direct. We see one final push for Metroid Prime 4, which will be coming out extremely soon.
Yeah.
Like not in June, but it'll be soon. We get a much more in-depth look at Animal Crossing. I'm hoping we're off the desert island. I hope they kind of listen to their heart and go more New Leaf than New Horizons, but we'll see how that goes. I think we see for the Switch, we have like a little tiny Switch section. We see a port of Yoshi's Woolly World that'll come out later in the year, and then they'll show Twilight Princess HD with very minimal enhancements. They'll spout as like being really big things, but it's really not. It's just small stuff. But they'll try
They
to get
have
you to
to
buy it
remove
again.
the stamps, right?
They have to, yeah, unless they're bringing back Miiverse.
Maybe that's what the C button is. It's C verse.
We'll see a new trailer for 3D Mario, which will be dated for around the holiday season. Here's my two. Actually, here's my. No, two big reveals. I'm gonna save the other two for September. I think we see Sakurai's next game. I
Ooh.
don't know if it's a new IP he's never worked with before, or if it's a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising. I'm between those two. I do not believe he's working on Smash, at least in a director role. He might be supervising it. He's not working on it. And then outside of that, we don't see anything for this. But I think we get a little hello for Aonuma in during the Twilight Princess segment, and he kind of gives us a little tease of like what their ambitions are for the next Zelda, like kind of what they did for Breath of the Wild back in the day when they're like, "Ooh, explore dungeons in any order. Ooh, go anywhere you like." So something very small
I
like
wasn't
that.
there for that, so
It was literally like a PowerPoint, like, "Oh, we're gonna do these 3 bullet points."
okay.
You're not gonna see any gameplay. You're
The
not
o-
gonna see like what the art style looks like. It's just gonna be very like we're working on it. It'll be a few more years.
the only two things I remember from that era was that one time when Link like pulls out an arrow and you're like, "That's not
Yeah,
Link," and then
the
the one
reveal trailer,
time
yeah,
Miyamoto was playing like
at the Game Awards.
Sure. I don't remember. I didn't even.
That was at the very first Game Awards.
Wow. Well, he was. I mean,
Yeah.
he was playing on the gamepad, and the TV was like facing this way toward the camera, and it was very weird. Cause like, how do you
Maybe.
even?
Oh
I think
yeah.
he was sitting next to
Yeah.
Bill. I think.
Nope, that was Aonuma. That was
Oh.
Game Awards.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that's the big thing. Like, obviously, Zelda's not coming out for years, but there's the confirmation that we're getting another Zelda. Shocker.
Yeah.
And then Sakurai's next game's dated for 2026, and it's going to be very hype. Because I mean, he did kind of tease in his final video that it could be announced relatively soon. So I think it's either in June or in the fall direct, whatever it may be. I'm hoping Kid Icarus.
I didn't think about that. I think that's fine. I won't put it on my list, but I'll agree with you. I think Sakurai probably could be seen this year. I just didn't think about it, to be honest with you.
Hey, I didn't think about Warriors either, and that really makes me bummed out because I'm like, I don't know where to put it,
Yeah,
but it makes so much sense.
yeah. All right, July.
Metroid Prime 4.
Switch to.
It'll be Switch 2 enhanced. It'll come out end of July.
So I have a different opinion here. I thought that Metroid Prime 2 was going to be the dual release. But I'm saying Switch 2 releases earlier in the month. 3D Mario releases day and date and also has a Switch 1 version. It'll be the only game that's like this. And then Metroid Prime 4 comes out at the end of the month.
Okay.
And it'll only be on Switch 1, not on Switch 2. It'll be the only game that actually
So are you saying 3D Mario is going to come?
Switch that.
Okay.
Prime 4 comes out first. Switch 2 and 3D Mario come day and date together at the end of the month. Yeah.
So you're saying Mario is Switch 2 exclusive, right?
No.
No.
3D Mario is going to be the Breath of the Wild of the system.
I
Metroid Prime 4, I thought Metroid Prime 4 was going to be the Breath of the Wild. And I mean, it may still be. But the problem that I have with that is that Metroid is not popular enough. Metroid is not big enough.
Not.
Zelda and Mario and Pokemon are the big boys. And so Pokemon just doesn't, they do their own thing. So that will never be the case. But Prime 4 would be the better fit, but 3D Mario is the only thing that fits in my timeline that would be that case. Because I am also, again, like I said before, no Switch 1 games after Switch 2 is launched. It'll be only Switch 2 labeled going forward. And 3D Mario will be the only game that releases simultaneously. It'll be the only game. It could be Prime 2. They could be interchangeable, but they both come out this month anyway. So.
I can't see them putting a big 3D Mario on both systems. I love that idea. I think it'd be really good. But
there is going to be one. I don't know what that is, but it's going to be. Maybe it is Breath of the Wild, and that would fucking suck. But there's going to be one.
I don't think Metroid Prime 4 gets that different box art, But I do think hardcore. It's going to be everyone who's in the know knows to play it on the Switch 2. Because I mean, it just makes sense. It's going to come out a bit later. I think all the marketing will have both the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 logos. You can play it on both, but here's the special visual enhancements, whatever, a little bit better performance. But that's why I was very mixed on putting 3D Mario at launch and then moving Mario Kart to the holiday. But I went with Mario Kart purely because I think it's going to come out in the summer. Summer's a very active social time. And I do think having 3D Mario and Metroid Prime might overshadow Metroid Prime because I mean they're both going to be very single player focused games. So it's one multiplayer, one single player focus.
For me, it's more like here's your mature and here's your kid, and also because Metroid Prime doesn't really fit anywhere else, to be honest with you, and Mario Kart is way too soon. I think it's too soon this year, period. But
it's been 11.
No, it's been a year and a half. As far as I'm concerned, it's been a year and a half.
DLC does not count.
Tour barely ended.
Game.
Okay, well, it's Mario Kart 10, isn't it?
Do we have to change to Mario
There's
Kart
only
9?
so
I
many
will.
people in the world.
Do you really think that Nintendo is not pushing Mario Kart for like the last 4 or 5 years? That DLC was to keep us satiated. That was like the
That was
equivalent of like a
still
remake,
development time. People had to
but with
work on that game.
a much smaller team
The
though.
tour team, which is now going to be the full-time team to work on the next game.
I think it was a
And they're going to
small
have
fraction
problems
of the
because they
full-time
already
team.
had problems with the DLC. They don't know how to work with a console.
That was to give them experience while the main guys are working on the main game.
No,
Like,
I don't think so.
yeah,
Why do you think Tor ended around the same time? Because they're done with Tor.
because
They're moving on to the
Nintendo's been
console.
killing off every mobile game. The only one that's still alive is Fire Emblem.
So I
That's
think
just
that
situation.
Christmas time is like the absolute earliest that Mario Kart can come out.
I
Personally,
gotta disagree with you there. I think that's the day one, just because
and
it's
think
people are
about it
so
too.
hungry for it.
Nintendo just shelves games all the time. I think it's too soon from a marketing perspective. From a developing perspective, sure, it could have been done months ago.
This
Sure,
Mario
I
Kart
agree.
8
It could have
came
been
out a
done.
month after the Switch 1 launched, which came out 2 years before the Switch 1 launched.
Mario Kart
Like,
came out in 2014.
yeah, and it'll be over 11 years
I'm
since
talking
the
about
last one.
purely from a marketing perspective. It has been only a year and a half, maximum 2 years, which
But
is
it's
why it's
still
releasing in
very
the
much
Christmas.
so. It's still very much so like slowing selling. It's still selling,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's doing
either
nowhere near the
way,
numbers it used
again,
to.
looking at it, it's like I just had Mario Kart. I'm satiated for Mario Kart. I'm full. Like I'm throwing up Mario
You're
Kart.
full. I think everyone else I've seen is hungry for something better.
No, I'm like
Like, I think that
I
made
cannot
people
look
even
at or
hungrier.
play Mario Kart ever again.
I think
Um,
that's a you issue more
no,
than
no, no.
anything.
But think about it. It was not that long ago. Again, it could have again, development time is another thing because Nintendo just makes games and puts them on the shelf. So they could have been done months ago. But just from purely
That's
based
just
on it's like
small
I
bites
just
of
had Mario
DLC.
Kart. For me personally.
And I know it's not the same, but I mean, we just Bowser's Fury was just a couple years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but there's a cycle for games too.
Do you really think 3 years is enough for a brand new 3D Mario?
Well, Bowser's Fury 3, yeah, honestly.
I don't
Again,
think
like I
so.
said, I think Christmas is the earliest. I didn't say that it's I didn't say that Christmas was too soon. I think it's the earliest.
I
Remember, we
We're
were
of the
both
agreement.
last year we were like it's 2026.
But here's the thing: Mario Kart has, at least since 8, has been the graphical showcase for the system. I think Mario Kart's going to look so much better than the 3D Mario game's going to
Since
visually
8, like
that
one
I
game.
think, which was 11 years ago. But I think Mario Kart is like right next to Metroid is going to be those two visual powerhouses. 3D Mario is going to be vast. It's going to be big. It's going to be its Breath of the Wild moment, quote unquote. But like, it's not going to look as amazing as Prime 4 will look on the Switch 2, and then Mario Kart will look.
I
It's a
mean,
lot easier to make those smaller games, Mario Kart, to look a lot better because it's smaller boxes.
I personally think that the 3D Mario will be the focus, not graphically. It'll be like this is the fun shit that you can play now. Now, on the other side of the coin, the graphical will come from Metroid. Mario Kart maybe will look good, and then, I mean,
I
based
think
on the
I
rumors,
think
it could be the
both.
greatest game of all time. But it's a 50-50 shot. Either it looks like what the DLC looked like, or it looks absolutely stellar. It's a
It is not
50-50
looking
shot.
like what the DLC looked
It
like.
is a
It's looking.
50-50 shot.
I don't think it is. I think it looked like that because they were
No,
trying to make something fast
I
and
mean it could
cheap.
just be iterative, basically.
It's not gonna be. I will be very shocked if it is. If it does, I will come back on here and say you're right. I will be
I would
so
personally
shocked and
would rather have
disappointed.
the Zelda be the graphical showcase, but in this case it's Metroid. We can't have two graphical showcases.
Yes, you can very easily because Mario Kart's gonna
Mario
be
Kart will
focused for the
just be Mario
casuals.
Kart though.
Mario Kart's for the casuals. Metroid's for the hardcore. You can have
That's
both
Mario.
games.
That's 3D Mario though.
But look at Mario Kart. It's outsold Odyssey 2-1, over 2-1. It's got more brand appeal,
That's why it would make more sense during the holiday. Because everyone's
but
together during the holiday. That's when
it can
multiplayer
still
happens.
Like, that's the thing, though. They can sell their initial shipments. People can be playing it all throughout the summer, letting their non-gamer friends or their kids, their friends with families be like, "Oh, this game's awesome. I'm gonna get it for my kid for Christmas." Like,
I
yes, the marketing cycle is definitely a lot more vast for the holiday, but
I
that's when you get that 3D Mario game, that hardcore game.
I would personally want two single player experiences to last me until Christmas. And then when I actually have the opportunity to play with multiple people during Christmas time, then that's when I would want to play Mario Kart.
But Mario Kart doesn't go away during Christmas time. Like, you can
No, I'm
still
just
play
thinking about it from
both.
that perspective.
Mario Kart 8 launched in May. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe launched in April. I can't remember the last time we had a holiday Mario Kart.
I mean,
Besides,
but that's
actually, I
the
can
only thing I
7.
have in holiday, to be honest with you.
Why I
That is
put
what I
3D
have in
Mario there.
holiday.
That's why I put 3D Mario. I guess we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be
But
one
I
or the
think we're
other
in
in either
agreement
spot.
on everything else though. Switch
Yes.
2 and Prime same month, even though
I mean,
it's
the funny thing is, it's like we're debating this thing where either one can go in either spot, and it
yeah.
really is not that big of a deal, you
I mean,
know?
that's kind of the point of this is to debate that, but
Yeah.
because
I
otherwise, if
mean,
we just listed it, it's just like okay.
if 3D Mario comes first, then Mario Kart in the holiday, that makes no difference on my life. Like, we're still
If
getting
Mario
both in the
Kart
same year.
if Mario Kart doesn't get shown, then that'll be the talking point.
You better check on Matt.
I think Matt will be fine. Matt is not on life support. He's eating. He's fine. After
I
all,
know
I am so tired of Mario Kart after doing all those fucking tier
he's
list videos.
graduated to Fortnite. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. Huh. Oh yeah, me too.
But
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Anyways, there we
August.
go.
Animal Crossing.
Planet Robobot.
I had that in what,
I
June?
think Planet
Oh, oh
Robobot's
wait,
going to be like
August, April. Sorry.
it's going to be a Switch game that's just so happens to be playable on Switch too. Going to get marketed. That's
Two
what
Animal Crossing games on Switch 1? That's crazy.
Kirby.
Oh,
I'm talking Kirby.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait, I was thinking Animal Crossing still.
I'm talking Planet Robobot.
I don't agree because again, I'm still of the mindset no Switch 1
I
games
know.
after Switch 2. So
I think it's just a matter of once the Switch 2 comes out, if you own the Switch 2, you get the best of both worlds. You get the exclusives and you get these smaller remasters for a bit to pad out the lineup a little bit.
all right.
Yeah, that's all I got for August.
September.
Animal Crossing.
I don't even have a game here.
So I put Animal Crossing Switch 2 exclusive. I think it'll come out early September, right when the kiddos are going back to school, and I don't know what the focus is going to be, but it'll be something where, oh, or every day when you come home from school, get on your Animal Crossing. Oh, look at these fall colors. Aren't they beautiful?
I'm gonna
I know.
move Fire Emblem remake to this month. I think. I
Okay.
had it. I had
I
it in
think that's
October.
fair.
I had it in October. So
Animal Crossing loves to launch either in like the late fall, early winter, or the summer.
mhm.
And I think having that Animal Crossing game where you get to play it for a couple months before it starts to snow would be really, really impactful.
When did it come out? It came out in March, huh? Yeah.
March, New Horizons with March. New Leaf was June for us, November for Japan the year
Mm.
before. And then City Folk was, I want to say,
Wow,
November.
6 months is crazy.
That was back when like the the time it took to like translate and get them over here, it was insane.
Which is weird because Pokemon was starting to launch day and date.
Yeah, no, that was a 7 month gap. I remember like when
Wow.
I was young, I was so mad because I wanted to play it so badly that I like watched the entire game from like
Oh God, the Paper
English
Mario hype cycle must have
people
been
that
torture.
people could translate Japanese and they were like English YouTubers and like I would just watch them play it every day. And then by the time I
Wow.
got it, obviously I still loved it, but I'm like, this game's been out for like 7, 8 months in my mind. I just haven't been able to play it.
Yeah.
But
Um.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna move Fire Emblem over, but I mean, we're still of the same mindset. August is still a perfectly fine place to.
yeah,
Um. I'm gonna
yeah.
put the
Animal
FE
Crossing
remake
can go
in.
either way. I just after Mario Kart and Metroid Prime and my predictions, I think we're having a little bit of a gap, which I think Kirby is going to be.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have a direct here. Um.
I do too.
And so this will be interesting. So I have one of two things: either a teaser for a 2026 release of Xenoblade. Actually, let's do this in order here. The big crazy game that's gonna come out of this direct is a Xenogears remake.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I believe this, Square and Nintendo are in a good relationship right now. Okay? That's number one. Number two, the end of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, spoilers, references Xenogears.
Yeah.
So, I think this will be a what the fuck game, which
I
will
can see
release in
that.
2026. Um, and what again? It'll be like a full trailer, because the game will be mostly done by that point. And hell, maybe it could be the December game. Probably not, but because Xenoblade likes to do that. But I think that people would want at least a little bit of time before that. Um, Now, what kind of remake? It could be HD 2D. I think people are going to want it to be on par with 3 and X, but it could go either way. But we are going to get a teaser at the very end of this trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 4 is in development. Um,
Okay.
and or in the alternate reality is that we actually just get X DLC and it
I
comes out this
actually
month.
I think we're getting a slight break from Xenoblade. Like Xenogears, that could very well happen. I think the next game we see from Monolith is going to be a new IP. I think it's that one that they've been teasing for years. I don't
The
think it's
Zelda
dead.
game?
It's not. It wasn't a Zelda game. It just looked very fantasy.
Oh.
I don't know if it's that, but I feel like they've been working on something in the background for many years, and I think it's finally going to come to fruition. I think we're going to get a little bit of a break from Xenoblade
Now,
outside of X.
to be fair, this Xenogears remake probably wouldn't be developed by Monolith. It would probably be developed by one of Square's remake
Right.
teams.
I agree with that.
So, with permission,
I don't know.
obviously.
I think it's just gonna be a little bit till we see Xenoblade again. I think whatever they do next will be very Xeno themed. Like it'll have a similar like battle system, stuff like that, but it's gonna be more fantasy than I guess
Yeah.
is Xenoblade considered like more
Yeah.
sci-fi fantasy? I'm not sure.
Now, I just think we're gonna see Xenoblade. I don't know if it's gonna be DLC. If it was DLC, it would be a little bit earlier. But Xenoblade One didn't have DLC, and we're also getting new stuff baked
In
in.
X.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that's likely. I just think we're gonna see some sort of Xenoblade. That's the idea.
Okay.
And then Xenogears is my like, whoa, hey now, wild card. Um, this is where we see this is our Persona blowout, just like we had a few years ago. We'll get Persona 3R and Metaphor. Um, Metaphor so soon that I don't know if they want to tease Persona 6, but again, if anything, it'll be at a Sony event. Um,
Right.
Persona 3R and Metaphor, again, just getting those ports in there of games that can actually run on the Switch too. That'll probably be the primary focus here because, again, they're going to want a primary focus on Switch 1, or sorry, third, or sorry, bruh. In June, they're going to want to focus on the first party stuff. I think September will be the time to be like, okay, here are all your ports, that type of thing. Of
Mhm.
course, like I said before, there'll be one at the June Direct, I think, right before the Switch actually comes out. Um, and I think, so I would assume that Nintendo Switch Online will either be rebranded or some sort of change will be announced during the presentation in March. And here in September, we're going to get the announcement of GameCube NSO launching in January.
I mean, let's say hypothetically, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess 2 come out, Metroid Primes are done. I honestly think the big Nintendo remasters for GameCube will be pretty much winding down. So I do think it's a good
Now,
time to bring GameCube NSO out there.
this could just be the case of there'll just be a new NSO title. Now, it could very much just be like DS too. So either
Yeah,
way could work. But I think it's
yeah.
going to be GameCube because people have been screaming from the top of their lungs. I think There was a rumor about it potentially happening with the whole
There's been a rumor
online.
for GameCube NSO for almost a
No, I
decade.
think it was related to the MMO thing. So, because
Oh
there was going
yeah.
to be a huge expansion to NSO, just period all around. So this could be it. But again, it could very well be DS too. So, but that's
Yeah.
all I have. I don't want
I
to get.
think
I don't want to touch my toes too deep into 2026. So, just yeah.
I've got. I mean, just like the June Direct, going to be very third party focused. I think obviously we'll see a bit more on Yoshi's Woolly World if it happens. We'll get a little bit more, a little tiny glimpse and like a release date if we don't already have one for Twilight Princess HD. Big like 5 minute focus or so on the next 3D Mario. I think the big reveals we're gonna see is one really big one and one, oh nice, it's not dead kind of big one. I think we'll see Luigi's Mansion 4 be announced for the 2026. I think that'll be the closer. And then for the opener, I think we see a new Star Fox game. And I think it's
Wow.
finally something different and not a, ooh, we're gonna tell the story of Star Fox 64 for the 7th time.
Well, to be
And I think Miyamoto will not be making it.
okay.
So yeah, that's my big two. I think those are gonna be the two big hitters. They're gonna be announced for 2026. And that's just kind of it.
I think I'm gonna modify my list a little bit. If I'm gonna put another teaser for 2026, it's gonna be F-Zero.
I love that.
I put F-Zero on my list initially, and I was like, "There's no room for it," so might as well put it here for next year.
Yeah.
And this will lead into October because I'm gonna say Xenogears comes out in October.
You think it comes out that quickly?
Yeah, because I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like a quick remake. Again, it's gonna
That's
be.
bold.
So you're sold.
No, that's bold.
Oh yeah. So I'm because I don't. I had the Xenoblade DLC. I'm just gonna cut that out straight up and just be like, okay, the Xenogears remake will be the big thing, and then they'll be like, oh, by the way, Xenoblade 4 is in production, and then October will be when Xenogears comes out. Yeah, because I don't want to dip my toes too much into 2026. So, and that's all I have for
For me,
October.
I have two games quote in October. I mean, one I'm pretty confident in, the other honestly probably not going to happen. I don't think Yoshi's Woolly World's going to happen, but in this world, let's say it does. It's going to come out early October. It's going to be a nice game for the kiddos that are eagerly waiting for the next 3D Mario game. And then later on in the month, we finally get Twilight Princess, and I can finally shut up. I can finally stop talking about this. It's been, at this point, it'll have been almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they're finally done, finally out. You can play every single 3D Zelda on Switch, Switch 2. Everyone's happy. End of story.
But then, no, I'm just kidding. Uh, in November, uh, I have Mario Kart. That's
And
it.
3D Mario.
Okay,
I
all
mean, we've
right.
had this socket.
Since we don't have anything for December, I'm gonna throw up the wildest prediction that I've ever had on this channel ever. And
Okay.
if I am right, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, this is gonna sound absolutely crazy, and I should be put in a mental hospital for having this idea. This is how
Oh,
crazy
God.
it is. Okay, we're gonna put it down. I'm gonna put it down officially. I don't. Do I think it's gonna happen? No, but it'll be fucking amazing and hilarious if it does. You're not, okay. I want you to actually go ahead and predict what you think my prediction is.
I
If that's
honest.
the way I'm phrasing it.
So, at the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley is just on stage and a broadcast gets interrupted, and it's the original story mode World of Light trailer for Smash Ultimate, but instead of it playing out normally, it Galeem gets defeated by two unlikely heroes, Crash Bandicoot and whoever the main character from Elden Ring are. We're getting Smash Ultimate Deluxe, and those are the two newcomers that are coming. I have no idea.
No, and this
I
is
like my
actually
idea though.
this is more up your alley. Actually,
Pikmin 5?
yes. No, it's the Game Awards. Uh, I don't know. Fuck. Metroid Prime 4 is possibly the game of the year.
I think it'll go to
And
Mario, honestly. Unless
maybe,
GTA
yeah.
6 comes out, then it's going to be a real battle.
No, 2026. I think, well, didn't they already say 2026 and then it got delayed?
Nope, they're holding strong on 2025, but I still think it'll probably
Oh,
get delayed, sadly.
you're not. It's what's gonna happen is it they're gonna have a weird segment that they typically don't do for the Game Award, and Nintendo is gonna be like the headway of this. It's like, Jeff Keighley will just be like, what is the classic game that you like remember from your childhood? It all goes black. Ocarina of Time from N64 appears on the big screen. It cuts to black again, and Ocarina of Time, the remake, on par with Final Fantasy VII Remake, gets announced and to be launched in 2026 ambiguously.
No. So I have two big issues with this. I do think this is going to happen this decade. I want to let that be perfectly known. I don't think it's going to be announced the same year. We've already gotten two Zelda remakes and potentially word on the next 3D Zelda game from Aonuma.
This is the
Two,
next 3D Zelda game.
no. I think this will come out in 2028 alongside the game's 30th anniversary. I think they're going to make a really big deal out of this when the time comes. And I think this could be like a Switch 2 Pro game. But I do not want to get on that topic today.
Again, I think that Zelda should be a temple for graphical fidelity. The only two games that we might get that showcase this are Metroid and Mario Kart. Metroid doesn't really count because it's still going to be a Switch 1 game. And this remake, again, on par with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it will be the primary focus for the 3D Zelda team. This won't be just like a just remake, that they make on the side. No, this will be the focus, and it will be not like what you remember, but it'll have the same core integrity of Ocarina of Time. So that's what I think.
I do think this will happen eventually. I think this is probably something the team is slowly chipping away at, as well as working on the next main game. I do think it'll happen. But I mean, when you say talking about like graphics, I think Nintendo this year, at least in my timeline, does a really good job showing off the power. Because I mean, Luigi's Mansion games always look really
Oh yeah,
strong. I
but
could see Star
they
Fox
don't
look really
look good. They
good.
just have crazy physics usually, or like lighting
I mean,
effect.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is
It
still
looks
regarded as
good, but
like the
like it's
best
still
looking game on the
cartoony. It's
Switch.
still like it's not
Yeah, but
like,
I mean,
oh my god, this is the craziest graphical like.
Kid Icarus could look really
Oh
good.
yeah.
Star Fox could look really strong. And this is like in the perfect timeline where all these things happen. That probably won't happen.
No,
But
do I
I
think this
do.
is gonna happen? No, I was just saying like
I
this.
know you
We don't
don't,
have
but I
anything for
mean,
December. Put it out there.
here's your first mistake. So it's gonna happen at the Game Awards.
Yeah,
Like I'm
Breath
sorry.
of the
This is
Wild
no.
focus was at the Game Awards multiple years apparently.
But you're talking about a game reveal here, like, and a damn big one at that. I I think Nintendo would like that's their announcement. Like they're not giving that up. If they won't even give the Game Awards, they'll give. Lately, they've been giving the Game Awards DLC and like third party timed exclusive stuff like Bravely
Teresa,
Default.
what is it called? Bayonetta baby.
Yeah, Cereza, we got that.
Yeah.
We got the Fire Emblem DLC. We got Smash DLC. Fire Emblem Engage DLC. I'm like, they get the ever since Reggie retired, they get the scraps now.
Yeah.
They do not care.
Well, you never know. To be fair, we've been in the scrap era for 2 years now. So,
Hey, if this is the scrap era, I love the scrap era. This has
yeah.
been fun.
I mean, think about it. I mean, again, Zelda was their focus. Now that Zelda's over, what else do they have? I mean, Mario Wonder is not as big as Zelda, 3D Mario hasn't been big since Odyssey. Mario Kart doesn't count.
We haven't had a 3D Mario since Odyssey, besides that
Yeah.
3-hour fantastic
Yeah.
experience
So
damn near
it was Tears of the
4 years ago.
Kingdom. Everything else, as far as Nintendo is concerned, is extra bonus cherry on the top. So you never know. We're now in a new era, so it could be like, they can give them something because they're like, okay, now we're ready to
We'll
go.
see.
We're ready to go
We'll
now.
see. I think if
Because
anything, like the first Game Awards gonna be like every single announcement. Oh, I can't believe that's coming to the Switch too. Wow.
yeah, I
Like,
hope I'm
yeah.
off that day because I would like to do a drinking game watching the Game Awards. But yeah, I think we milked this enough. And I'm not feeling too good about my year, but well,
I feel great about my year besides like Yoshi's Woolly World.
I think what we can sort of put a stake in and say, yes, this is happening. Switch 2 hype starts right away in January.
Yep.
Um,
We see the
uh,
Prime games finish out before 4 comes out. I think that's pretty set in
yeah.
stone.
I mean, Switch 2 has to release next year, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think we see both 3D Mario and Mario Kart at some point in the year.
Yeah.
Pokemon Legends will hopefully not disappoint. You
Please.
know it's a good year when like my weakest predictions I think are the Zeldas and
Yeah.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
I mean,
Like those are the ones that I
yeah.
can see falling off pretty easily.
Yeah.
I
I
we've got
think
to
we're
have
gonna.
something Zelda for the year though, you know? Like it's got to be something.
I think we'll be eating good though too.
Oh yeah.
This year was a little light eating, but we were fed. Um,
It was good
we
food. It's
had
just
one game a
smaller
month,
portions.
so um,
Exactly.
so I think we're still gonna personally, I think we're gonna still continue that trend until the Switch 2 comes out, and then we're just gonna be feasting. So
I mean,
until the end of next year, probably.
my list was heavy, but I only had 13 releases on
Yeah.
my calendar for the entire year
I
and
mean, we
if
could.
you if you if
Go ahead.
you don't count the Zeldas or the Metroids, it's down to 9.
Yeah, I mean, very well. We could be seeing 2 games release every month too. Um,
I wouldn't get that optimistic, but it'd be
I'm
fun.
no, I'm just saying like I don't think we'll have gaps in our time.
No.
Definitely, like we will be eating good post Switch 2 coming out. Like
Yeah.
we might not get anything crazy in the first few months of the year, but we'll get events and we'll have a lot of fun with that. But
Oh yeah.
our year starts in June.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it's going to be better than this year where we got no direct until June. The only games you could look forward to until Thousand Year Door were Princess Peach Showtime and Endless Ocean.
Well, for
It
me, it
was
was
it,
actually Echoes of Wisdom because
that was in September though.
Paper
I'm talk,
Mario. So he's a piece of paper. He can get crumbled up.
we didn't have besides like the Splatoon DLC, which I know you hated. We didn't have anything fun, in my opinion, until frickin' May with Paper Mario, which was a remake.
I mean, for me, it was Astrobot, but
That didn't come out until September.
exactly. I still haven't
But still,
even
give me September
Princess
games.
Peach
I'm pissed off.
Showtime is. I have a stack of games right here that I need to play. It. Look at that. Fucking
Still,
water spilled on it, and I
ugh.
still haven't opened it.
But
Yeah, we're
next year will
done.
be fun, and we'll be here to cover all of it.
Yep. Expect to see this guy's face more.
I've been enjoying my vacation. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
I'll
I
say that
hope
at
you're
least.
excited for a good year.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for Nintendo to be back on top again. Like it's been
I just want to play a
it
new
honestly
Mario game,
it
please.
honestly sucked watching the Game Awards. I'm like they couldn't even win Best Family. Astrobot took that crown from them. They won
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sticking with us. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment what you guys think are going to be happening next year. You can join our Patreon as simply the $5 tier or even less than that. Simply support us, help out the channel, be able to get better equipment, and maybe he won't be in the bedroom.
I probably still will be in the bedroom. It's comfy in here.
Well, if we get $1 million, then we could get you a whole office.
That sounds like a lot of work. I
No,
like
I'm
my bed.
joking. But yeah, like I say every single time, every single dollar goes back into making videos. If you want to help support us, and of course, you'll be getting access to exclusive content. We've been posting there a lot more. You probably noticed I haven't been sending you any videos because we got some extra help, a little bit more hands on deck. Because it's
Yes.
gonna be a big year next year. So, well, pray to God. So we're gonna need the help, any help that we can get. So thank you guys so much for all your support in the boring ass year that we had this year with only tier list
It's
videos, pretty
almost
much.
over.
But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for Switch 2. I hope you guys are excited for more prediction videos. I have a lot of ideas for specific games. So, um, yeah, and hopefully we'll have more reviews too because like I just did not want to play anything this year. So next year, if we have some good games, then I'll be able to actually produce content for you guys. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next year.
Bye, guys.